Tupperware dish, put it in the freezer, and that's when the water and the butter part ways. Because what you're gonna wind up with is an ice block, and then the fat or the butter and the THC that it's infused with is gonna rise to the top in the freezer, then we're gonna knock off the ice and be left with nothing but the finest can of butter that you have ever tasted. All right, so I'm Chef Magic, this is Chef Serge, and we're making butter right now. So we boiled the water, we let the butter melt in with the water because the water brings everything together. It's really cool. It's like the great equalizer, you know what I'm saying? So now we added our flours in, and it's been boiling for about a half an hour. What I'm gonna do is bring it over here and show you guys how to strain it out. And let's go get the pot. Yeah, look at that color. Look at that color, Serge.
That's beautiful.
It is. So it's a really dark army green color, and that's hot. That's great. Now I'm gonna grab this, this here. You'll need something to pour it into, obviously. I'm gonna use this Tupperware container. My man Serge has a strainer. And here's something else you're gonna need, a cheesecloth. Just a regular old cheesecloth, all right?
Used for cheese.
Is it? I don't know where that came from.
Separate the curds and whey.
Right on. So we're gonna strain out the vegetable matter with the cheesecloth. I'm gonna double it up, Serge.
All right, sounds like a plan.
That's what I like to do, double it up from time to time. All right, so you hold that over what you're straining it into. Now we let this cool for about, how long, Sergi?
An hour, 2 hours, so it's completely frozen.
We're straining out all the plant matter from our butter mixture. We got butter, water, and plant matter in here right now. So we poured it through this cheesecloth, through the strainer, and just because I hate to waste any precious drop, this beautiful medicine, I'm gonna squeeze it out. And make sure this doesn't bust on you. Make sure you got it wrapped up tight. Because the cannabis likes to get out, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Cannabis comes out at night.
Oh, that smells so good, dude.
Yeah, and you see that green color? That's what we're looking for. Anyways, while the butter's still warm enough to squeeze through here, we're gonna get every juicy drop, baby. Every juicy drop of this butter. But
it's like kneading cookie dough.
Yeah, and if you get a little bit of plant matter in there, it's not gonna kill anything. Remember, the animals eat this stuff.
Yeah, they do.
The ones that commit suicide in front of cars?
The deer and the antelope.
All right. So I got most of the plant matter out of there.
Take that for you, chef.
Thank you. And I'm gonna dry my hands. Okay. So this is the color that we're looking for right here. It's like an army green. That means, you know what, man? This is some potent butter. So we're gonna have to be careful. Thank you. Very dark green butter we can use for anything that we want to bake with or cook with. And that's what's up. That's canna butter. It's the basis of a lot of recipes that we're going to be using today. All right? So anyhow, if you did everything right, this is what your butter is going to look like. And you may still have a little bit of water left over. You can dab it off.
Why is there water in there?
Water is how we got everything together in the first place, Serge. Remember, we boiled the water, and the water acts kind of like a big brother or mentor for the butter and the cannabis. And it brings them together and says, hey, it's okay. It's all right to be together sometimes.
Wow, you can smell it from here, dude.
Oh, it's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
Oh, it smells
you
heavenly.
can see some of the crystals in here right now.
Wow.
Man,
I just can't get over how good it smells.
It's green, too.
This is a real treat.
So if you did it right, that'd be the color of your butter, and now you're ready to make all kinds of wonderful baked goods that are gonna put a smile on your face.
What about brownies?
Brownies, cookies, we're gonna get into all that stuff, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta start with this, the butter.
That's good. Oh, man. Could I drink that water?
Hey, take it easy. I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and they go, Magic, I just love them brownies that you make.
Yeah, I can tell you why.
Yeah. So I say, well, it's easy enough to make, so let's show them how to do it, right? I start with brand X. If you can't find this, Chef Serge. In your local store, just use your favorite box brownie mix. Anyhow, you'll open this for me. This particular recipe calls for, obviously, the dry ingredients in the bag, 1/4 cup of water, but most importantly, I'm going to substitute a 1/2 cup of butter for the magic butter. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all. It's just, that's the difference right there. So we'll melt that down.
We're not to stab our fingers.
Yeah, man.
Whoop.
All right.
Dump that there. Let's say, what, first thing we should put in is what, our liquid ingredients?
Yes, sir.
So it won't stick to the bowl.
Pour in the liquid, 1/4 cup of water.
Say a couple of eggs.
2 eggs, please. And then I'm going to tell you guys, when you measure out, make sure you follow my measurements closely because, you know, one time I put too much butter in there and I was at a job and I was mopping up in the kitchen after work. I had a little 1/4 of this brownie. And, man, I went too heavy on the butter. I ended up sitting down like,
Oh, man.
man, it felt like a tranked out big cat, puma or something, man. Anyways, we got 2 eggs and a 1/4 cup of water. I'm gonna stir that up. I'm gonna add in my brownie mix. Magic brownies. Yes,
Call it
sir.
space cake in Amsterdam.
Yeah,
That's what I've been told.
I love Amsterdam.
Never been there.
Maybe we'll get a chance to go. Anyhow, he's mixing up the dry ingredients with some of the wet ingredients, the eggs and the water, and now I'm going to substitute in, excuse me, Chef Serge.
It's part on me.
Yes, sir. What I've done is I've measured out pretty much a 1/4 cup of the magic butter. And you can tell the magic butter because it's green.
One thing, do not ever microwave magic butter because then you will kill all of its properties.
Yeah, you'll kill all the THC in there. All right?
Sounds like
You ready for me to mix in the butter?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. You can get it softer. Mixing in the butter.
See that? That's goodness. Just like Grandma used to make.
Well, I'm not Irish, but they're going to be magically delicious.
I'm telling you, look at that.
Know what I'm
You gotta
saying?
whip it in. Some people like to use a mixer for the ladies that have weak hands.
Yeah, you can use a blender, you can use a mixer, or you can just hire yourself a sous chef. Like
That's
Chef
right.
Serge.
I love whipping up this tasty treat.
Take it easy, Sergi. Take it easy.
You want to whip it very good and get all the chunks out. Otherwise, it won't be even, and you'll have parts of the brownie that are stronger than others.
All right. So now I'm going to bring over the brownie pan. You know what? I'm going to take the brownie pan. I'm going to do something I usually don't do. Okay? But hey, this is our first
Gonna
DVD.
grease it.
I'm going to grease the pan with the magic butter. All right? You just take you some, and just like you would with any other baking thing, whether you're making cookies or brownies or a cake, you just kind of get in there and play around with the butter. It's okay to play with the butter.
You could even do this with casseroles, couldn't you, Chef Magic?
I believe you're right, son. Yes, I do. All right, so let's grease the pan.
Oh, yeah. You can tell, too, when it's whipped in, it gets a glossy look to it. It almost looks fake.
Also, you know, I want you guys to be at liberty. If you want, throw some peanut butter in your brownie mix, throw some walnuts, anything you like. It's about, you know, it's about medicating.
Jolly Ranchers.
Okay. A little strange, but yeah, Jolly
We're
Ranchers.
diabetics. Just kidding.
So I'm greasing the pan, he's whipping the mix. Let's go ahead and pour that on in there.
Oh,
Scrape it
yeah.
on out.
Look at that. That's goodness.
Yeah.
I bet they even taste better than they look.
No, they will. And then until you learn what kind of tolerance you have, when these brownies are done, I would suggest you taking, well, I'll show you. But it'll equate to about 1/4 to 1/2 of the brownie. Let that settle in for a couple hours, because you know it takes about a half an hour when you eat cannabis for it to get into your system. And like
Sometimes longer.
even longer, but the effects last longer as well.
Here it goes.
All right.